Karibu Nyumbani family. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that all is going extremely well with your relocation journey and that you're doing the necessary things. You know, it's not just about the physical move here, but there's so much that you need to do in terms of spiritual preparation, mental preparation, psychological and emotional preparation so that you can make it. And part of the preparation is also those that you're leaving behind, the circumstances and situations that you're leaving behind. You have to literally, totally leave them behind so that you can create your new life without that baggage. And many are happy to leave it behind, but there are those family, friends who will really not be happy that you're moving and may try and put fear, anxiety, emotional blackmail into your vibes. And you need all the positive energy you can on this relocation journey. A lot of questions that I get center around, I don't want to move, or I don't want to move to Africa, or I'm afraid to move to Africa because China now controls Africa, and Babylon still controls Africa. There's all these armies in Africa, and you see that is our failure first and foremost, because we have not done the necessary things to control our narrative, and that's been done on purpose. There is no African news network that could give you a true picture. The closest that comes to now is a lot of the YouTubers, but they also, a lot of the African YouTubers, but they also, many of them are still trying to copy paste that Babylon lifestyle and kind of worshipping and promoting that Babylon lifestyle. So you cannot know what Africa is about by simply reading the news. China is not in control of Africa. China does not control Kenya. We owe them a debt. But all this happens at the top of the pyramid level, at the government level. And the narratives, although have you noticed how quiet China's gotten all of a sudden? I mean, they're dealing with so many of their own issues, floods, harvest destruction, so many things. But I just want to reassure you that when you come here, you're not going to come into some kind of Chinese colonialism. There are not as many Chinese here as they want to believe. And that's what I say is so dangerous about the narrative, because sometimes we'll push and uphold a narrative that actually creates a path for these people to come in. What has happened is that our corrupt governments have overborrowed from China, but it's not just African governments that find themselves in this situation. Governments across the world, beloveds, because China wasn't going for African domination. China's going for global domination. So there's a lot of people that are in a lot of nations that are indebted to China. But what is worse with, and it's the same in Africa, I won't even say it's worse in Africa, is that a lot of the things that were signed were our powerful national resources. So the fight with China is on more of a policy level. And if I could do a show, I would really discourage people from giving so much power to China, with their whole conversation and line of thinking and speaking, because China is not in control of Africa. And I just wanted to say that the foreign militaries, they are here. And I think as a foreigner, if you want to move here, it would be to get as naturalized as quickly as possible. Because as I told you, I haven't done a show on this. I can do a separate show on this. Let me know if you'd want to see it in the comments below, about double taxation and how America requires every bank and to let them know, or I don't know if they require governments, but to let them know what their people have in those countries. They even want to know what land you own, etc., etc. And that's where you may face a problem as this whole situation progresses. But for now, I would say that you can use your embassies, your government presence to your benefit, because they'll protect you as their citizen, regardless of your skin color. There's many networks that they have set up because they've been on this neo-colonial agenda that they need their citizens to fulfill. There's a lot of jobs and things that go around, finding homes to rent, etc., within that community. Although you'll find that the majority of those embassy cliques are mainly Mzungus. They're the ones who have taken advantage of this. But the reason there's this whole narrative of China coming to Africa and taking over Africa is, number one, because of the narrative that has been put out there so much. And it's been put out there not mainly also by their rivals, Babylon. The divided states and the divided kingdom have wanted it to appear. So they've encouraged those news cycles. And they've also exposed a lot of what China has done, as China was exposing a lot of what Babylon has been doing for ages. But what do you see? There is ways to relocate to Africa, and the only difference is that the Chinese who are able to move here, they're taking advantage of the opportunities. They're not allowing their emotional, because they have no emotional connection here. They're not allowing their emotions to get the best of them, and that's what I see happening with our African diaspora. Is, you want a red carpet rolled out for you. You want, to know these people aren't in control, but you have to come and experience it for yourselves. Don't believe the narratives. The narrative about Africa has always been false. You can never expect your enemy to tell the truth about who you really are. So, just to reassure you, China is not in control. You probably won't even see any Chinese when you're here. In certain countries, although I hear Zimbabwe is a totally different thing, but we'll see what happens. Or is it Zambia? Sorry, Zambia is a totally different thing. And remember, East, West, South, totally different. Tuko pamoja.
To all the dispossessed youth of Africa, for perpetuation of communion with ancestral spirits through the fight for African freedom, and in the firm faith that the dead, the living, and the unborn will unite to build the destroyed shrines. Selah. Hello and welcome, beloveds, to another special message from the Ancient Ones. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life truly on your own terms, in your own story, and in a narrative that empowers you and disconnects you from the matrix, because, the matrix is, falling, and someone was like, it's not a matrix, it's a patrix. I mean, the words we're using now are code to get the sleepers. If you know it's a patrix, which means it's a patriarchal, all false system, it does make sense. That's well and good. But right now, beloveds, we're trying to get those who are asleep. So there's a lot of people who keep saying, don't use Africa, use, Al-Kabulin or whatever. How are we going to get the people who have no idea what Al-Kabulin is and have never even heard there's a different name for Africa? These are perilous times, beloveds. And for you who are awake, just thank your ancestors, thank your guardian angels, thank the Most High in you for the fact that you have been able to, because there are so many more that are still asleep that we're trying to, pull out of, the wickedness of the Babylon system. And the main message that was coming from the Ancient Ones is that, they didn't get what they came for. As I keep saying, it was a spiritual invasion that happened on this melanated planet, this melanated home. And it's so much deeper, beloveds. It's so much deeper. But basically, these 7 continents that they say are not the only continents, and they were quarantined off to kind of contain this invasion from this foreign entity. And they came looking for secret knowledge. I mean, it's just like the you see in the sci-fi videos and all these superhero movies. It's not far from what they've been trying to do. They came to try and get certain powers and certain knowledge, because this is the one place where you have 4 major kingdoms meeting and all the nations within those kingdoms. So, Mama Earth is a very unique place, beloveds, because it's the meeting place of the fire nation, the earth nation, the air nation, and the water nation, and other nations that we don't even know about. It's become, all of them have kind of seeded, many wonderful things in this planet, buried many wonderful, powers in this planet, so that it could literally be like, a physical paradise, a physical mind-blowing literally experience. So the reason that Mama Earth was chosen to be hijacked, if we want to put it like that, is because of this uniqueness the fact that all the nations, and then it's not just that, beloveds, it's that because the water nations have come, the children of the water nation have incarnated here, the children of the fire nations have incarnated here. There are doorways and portals to every single one of these kingdoms, like the portal to their kingdoms, the portal to their nations, their worlds, their universe, which is another uniqueness.